Thank you for visiting. This is the gently delayed June episode of Poets Around the World Reading with Prolific Press. This is Glenn Lyvers, your host, and we're going to get started with Lynette Esposito.
Hello, this is Lynette Esposito from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and I apologize to all of you. I have to leave almost right away. My daughter's birthday is today. My first poem, I have a little sense of humor, maybe. It's called Roving AI. Across the dry red plains of Mars, the monsters came looking to the right, then to the left. I held my breath that they would not perceive their lunch in me, a simple machine just doing its job. And my second one is called Newly Born. I'm still working on it. I am the sky that speaks of birds, alone in my room, covered in cotton sheets, withered by thoughts of flying out the closed window like a ghost passing through glass, sheer and light, both winged and unwinged, like magic conjured from magic and back again. But it is not to be. Rejected from the start, I lie here like a fledgling, partially broken, alone, while mother hurries for the doctor, who cannot come, or refuses to come, or won't come, in the middle of a winter night. My breath is blue. I am the sky. Mother returns to this white nest and holds me warm against her chest. Her heart is open. I crawl in, pause in flight. She is the breath I can breathe. I give up the sky. That's it.
Thank you for that. That's really nice. Okay, let me get back to the gallery view here, and the next poet is Gloria Caviglia.
Okay, folks, this is called No Blues. I get myself into a face-up prone position on the table, adjust the small pillow under my neck, and send up a prayer that my vertigo doesn't rear its ugly head as I settle in, each vertebrae acknowledging its presence. Her hands generate a warmth as they hover over me. She speaks in tongues which are foreign, yet somehow I understand the words she utters. Slowly, I relax into a state of higher consciousness, feeling myself out of myself. You are radiating the color blue. Does that color have significance for you? No, I dreamily respond, not wanting to talk, wanting to savor the feeling of weightlessness and mindlessness. A woman in blue stands at your feet. Blue symbolizes a goddess, the Madonna, those to whom we call by that name. Perhaps it's your mother? Maybe, I sleepily reply. Blue is not a color of choice for me. I like dark military greens, dusky sunless grays, and deep midnight blacks. Session over. I reluctantly sit up and smooth down my clothes as I get up from the table and prepare to leave. The realization stops me cold. I am wearing a blue blouse with a necklace and matching earrings of blue stones.
Very nice. Did you have another one today? Okay. Very, very nice. And as some of the viewers may have guessed, we have a secondary theme. First theme being great poetry and good times by fellow poets that just like spending time together today. And the secondary theme, we're trying to incorporate the word blue in some of the works today. Our next poet is Heather Grant.
I don't know. Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I saw the note about the color blue yesterday, and I laughed because I was going to do a different poem, but this is called Blue in May. And when we think about when it's overcast, our sense of color is enhanced. Blue in May. Brilliant in an azure sky, the sun withdraws, pulling a gray mantle over the landscape. Colors soften, and my eye turns to the periwinkle at garden's edge, blue haze of cornflowers in an open field, dotted with Queen Anne's lace, indigo eye in the center. From the corner of my eye, a handsome man in cerulean blue sports car tosses his head, cobalt candy wrapper pressed against the newly tarred street, purple blue thistle in cracked pavement, a large turquoise ring on a woman's gnarled hand, and a young mother wearing a blousy lapis top, earrings to match, pushes a denim baby carriage. Her young child in a blue shirt turns and flashes a smile. The kindness in his quiet eyes draws me in. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. That's really nice. Let's see here. Just a minute. All right. Carla Schwartz.
Here we go. I have a new book out from Finishing Line Press, and it's called, the book is called Signs of Marriage. And I hope everyone can hear me. Is that right?
Sure, you
Oh,
sound good.
Good. Okay. So, and I'm going to put a link right here in the chat. And now I'm going to read you two poems that are in the collection, Signs of Marriage from Finishing Line Press. And I put the link on for Amazon. And the first poem, when you said the blue prompt, I just thought of this poem. And it's called This Rope. I hold intention at arm's length, swing like a lover hoping he returns, captured round my arms, my palm curled around a hand, not alone anymore. Now I have a post to steady by, to tie up to, a dour-faced overseer, the two of us tied by thick strand to bring us home, a kind of tango of wrap and friction, swings the stern back close in toward the dock, this rope whipped at the ends to keep from fraying, to stay worry. This flower bloomed open, bluer than sky. And that was a short love poem. This is a little longer. It has multiple parts, and it's called Father on His Driveway. It recently appeared in the MacGuffin too. Okay. 1. Let me wake early to take the brush down to the end of the driveway. Let me walk down carefully, think about my steps rather than the brush. 2. After my cataract surgery, I can see blue, green, but my ankles are thick as trees, so I wear shoes I won't slip in. I promise my daughter I wouldn't slip again. 3. The way flowering vines wander across a scroll of Japanese poetry, I quiet my mind. 4. Sears, Zemansky, and Young is still tucked into the bookshelf near my desk. I haven't cracked it open since I retired. I still know to go to chapter 8 to review impulse and momentum. I used to teach these in my sleep. 5. A young medical student lives around the corner. Mornings, he drives by my house on his way to the hospital. Who's ever typing, please mute yourself. Okay, before today, we've never met. 6. In my 80th year, I lost my wife. No, I didn't lose her. She expired in my arms. 7. A 50-year-old woman comes home and tells her husband, the doctor told me I had hips of a 30-year-old. Her husband asks, did he say anything to your 50-year-old about your 50-year-old ass? No, she said, he didn't say a thing about you. I told that to my daughter and she laughed. 8. On my forehead, a bandage, my badge of honor, taped there by the medical student who passed by when I rolled down the driveway. 9. My own forgetfulness came to me this morning when I met the stubborn vine at the foot of the driveway. One more for the brush can, I thought, but I forgot to brace myself when I tugged and tugged until I won. I won, so as to break free my momentum. I fell back, rolled down the concrete, and when I reached bottom, all bloodied, I thought of my wife, who used to tend our yard, my wife, who used to take down the brush. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really nice. Okay, we're going to do Robert and then Len. Robert? Robert of V. Sabas.
Okay. Hi, I'm Roberto Sabas from Champaign, Illinois, and I'm going to share my screen for one of these poems at least. Yeah, this one here. All right, can you see that? Oh, no, I guess I got to do this real quick. Sorry. Okay, I'm sharing my screen
Yeah,
now. Okay, there we go.
there it is. It looks good.
Thank you. This is part of one of 3 postcard poems I submitted to a local community project for postcard poems, which are put together in a video collection on YouTube, which I don't have time to put the link on here, but maybe next time. This one is Evening Summer Sky. Evening summer sky lit with a golden abundance, go west to chase fleeting sunlight. Insects fly low in moist summer layers. Nighthawks and bats are drawn to the thick of it. So quiet a duration, from the back lawn to the edge of sight, stilling thought. A gate unlatched, my son shoots hoops. He looks up into an expanse of amber and rose, and with us, exhales conjoined wonder, as overhead, the after image of bright passing melts into the monochrome. And then I'll read one more poem. Thank you. This one's called Pastime. An azure ribbon descends the cliff, facing a cool well of uncertain depth, the place where our minds first soaked in each other's suns of delight, like black absorbs heat. You slash the air, then the water, a knife certain of your purpose. When you emerged, you were a multifaceted gem, emitting scintilla by the thousands, millions. I thought I had you. You thought I did too. But senses, flaring like overwrought flames, brought our notions to naught. It was a cool, wet, hot, blazing, flashing flame, which crashed like surf, and what remained seemed jagged and unmoved at long last. And so, my love, I bid you a fond and brief hello. Thank you. Okay, I'm trying to stop that. Stop share. Clicking and
Glenn, at my end, it seems like you're muted.
I am muted. Thank you. I was telling Robert that Roberto that I really enjoyed that, and the speed of that piece was just right on. We're going to go with Len and then Bob.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. First poem is the only poem that has blue in it. As it happens, it's my favorite color, but still, from the Enormity of Existence, my first book, and it's called Once I Sailed the Oceans. Once I sailed the oceans, braving the blue cold water like a restless young shark. Sea monsters meant naught, and mermaids sang to me. Once I flew through the skies, freer than any eagle could, seeing the world low as heaven laid out below, while I soared and soared. Once I walked the earth, small giant, a large grin, as men stepped back and women came forward. By now time tempered my once hot iron and cooled fevered brain. And God wrung me inside out till my soul shone its brilliance, and I hid my old face in shame, in shame. Heaven and hell are both gifts now I see, fruit of the same tree. One Adam, Eve were told to flee, and God gives so much, and so many chances, so many, many chances. The other one has no blue in it, but it's from the second book, which does have the blue cover. So does that count? I hope. This this poem, I guess the older I get, the more pessimist I get. The more I like people, individual people, the less I think, frankly, of humanity, because we never seem to learn. It's an obscure poet philosopher who said that history is not a highway, but a merry-go-round. We went through a pandemic again, as we did 100 some years ago. And February 24th was my 42nd anniversary. And I woke up, turned the radio, and heard that Putin, Russia had invaded Ukraine. And I felt like people must have felt in 1939, they thought Hitler was just bluffing about invading Poland. He was not going to really do it. And then he does it. It's unbelievable, really. It's just unbelievable. Why? But anyway, the poem's called Miasma. The world is a paradise, a melange of desert and forest, ocean and mountain, of birds in flight amid cotton clouds, and symphonies of flowers carpeting God's green earth. But we are the outsiders. We are the conflicted species, never happy for long, never done. So we war with ourselves, then we war with the other. We deny we wear the same coat, share the same mind, feel with the same heart. We hate when loving is easier. We are so blind, yet are sure we can see. Our nature, our ever so human nature, is a miasma we can never escape. Thanks. I think you're still hearing that.
Bob
Okay.
Whalen.
Okay.
Hi, thanks. I think some of us, like me, have aftermarket parts. And once you start to get things swapped out, you start to think more about how you're mechanical. So this is a thought on such a thing. It's called mechanical quality. Excuse me. I'm starting to feel mechanical, but that doesn't make sense. Machines don't feel. Yet here I ride on a collection of systems that are more than the sum of their parts. Bellows operate air intake through channels, making the outside inside, where it becomes me. Same with the fuel system, where one life transmutes, becoming another life, again through channels that allow the outside energy to be extracted inside, the leftovers expelled, becoming the outside again. The boundary between out and in is a flexible, self-repairing bag stretched over scaffolding mobilized by electronically controlled, expanding and contracting cords, coordinated by a hardwired central processor with manufacturer-installed firmware. The objects consist of a wavelength-triggered semi-automatic rangefinder system generating chemical transmissions, rendering pattern recognition. The dawn bleeds hot coal, yellows to reds, purples to blues. Cool air dances across the rippling grass, awakening green, whispering the scent of wildflowers. Loons call across a misty lake. An open road flows of freedom. The orange tastes so sweet. Thank you.
Very nice. Did you have another one?
No, I'm only going to do a hit and run.
Okay.
I have to leave by 2, so I appreciate your indulgence.
No, yeah, that's great. That was great. And as soon as you opened up with the idea that as you get older, you start thinking about things in parts. I saw everyone smiling. It's something we can all relate to, and that's just wonderful. All right, well, let's move on to one of my favorite writers, Dennis Malsby.
Thanks, Glenn. I just received a brand new full-size poetry book, my second one, and it came in just this week. So I'm going to read the very last poem in the book. Goodbye. The river of my memory rushes and churns through the dark hospital room. Drifting thoughts ground on dream snags and sandbars. My ancestors' welcome songs blend and swell. The mad pipes of blue-painted Celts, honeyed Elizabethan madrigal voices, the sharp metallic ring of Greek bouzouki's, and Iowa fiddlers shouted do-si-dos, and the raucous boogie of big bands lift me out of my sleepless husk. I canter an Appaloosa over tall grass prairie, my bare feet streaked blue and yellow by coneflowers and asters. Lightning rags the fast cloud sky, ozone, animal musk, plant perfumes fill my lungs, my cheek against the spotted horse's warm neck. Looking back, my love, I see your silhouette in the door. Even from the infinite miles my soul has traveled, your hair put up a few loose curls, a light with red blonde tint. With whispered prayer, your woman's shadow swirls past the wall of nurses and doctors. In my final seconds, you gather me in your firm, comforting arms. Then I don't think I'll read this, but I will pass it on as a suggestion. I know some of you, like I, occasionally write science fiction poetry. And after numerous rejections, Starline, which is the journal of the Science Fiction and Fantasy Poetry Association, finally accepted one of my poems and even gave it a really good position. It's right on the back cover in the upper left. So if you get on that, that's an excellent spot to be, as I'm sure some of you have noticed. But give it a try if you've got science fiction poetry. Take a look at Starline.
That's an interesting thing. I had a small piece of science fiction poetry published at Cosmic Roots and Eldritch Shores, which is in that science fiction same um, association. And I know I know them over there because I've helped them over the years with some of their project, and it was it sparked a little something in me. I had never really thought about science fiction poetry as any kind of a genre I would write to. So I will echo that. It's an interesting thing to get in, and also I help the Harvard University's journal, and they uh, one of the guys over there said to me that that's one of the easiest genres to get published in right now because it's taken off. There's a bunch of new stuff, and a lot of and they're eager, they're hungry for good content. And not to say, I mean, I'm sure they're highly selective, but there's that's a market right there that's blooming. Something that everybody should maybe pay attention to. Edward Ahern.
Hi, everyone. These two poems have the only distinction of being the most recent ones, so they're not published. And I'll share them. Maybe, here we go. The first one is called Getting Lost. Alders and scrubweed, once pushed through, yield to popple and firs, crouched under, moving in. The crows and buzzards, flies and wasps are left behind in sunlight, but the mosquitoes abide and bedded down deer. The hot breath of long grass gives way to damp rot splayed out in the bowels of mature hickories and oaks. There are no trails, nor anyone alongside, nor sunlight allowing guesses at direction. Shapes without pattern, decayed aromas enveloping, sounds muted into silence, gentle upwelling of fear sharing me with delight, a forest to which I can't belong, but want to. And the second one is has a visual prompt. It was written for one of my poetry groups. This is the prompt. It's by a Ukrainian artist whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is what I wrote, just to give you an idea of how snarky I can be. Aux toilettes. Peculiar that paintings of women aux toilettes are endearing and omnipresent, while paintings of men shaving or showering are non-existent, with the possible exception of Japanese woodblock prints depicting naked, ugly men fighting in a bathhouse.
That's great. Sorry. It's absolutely true. Nobody wants to see us in the bathhouse. Okay, excellent. Sean O'Connor, please.
Oh, Glenn. Hello, everybody.
Sean?
I'll read. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, great, great. I'll read two short pieces, a haiku and a haibun. They're both published. The haiku, which I'll read twice. Snow watching. All night, my father's corpse, silent in the morgue. Snow watching. All night, my father's corpse, silent in the morgue. And the second piece is a short haibun. I should have titled it Blue and White for the occasion, but it's actually called Black and White, and that's as close as I can get to blue. Sorry about that. This is just accepted for publishing today, actually. So it's called Black and White. Light honeys in with the opening of the curtain, and outside, the surprise of a whitened world. The radio murmurs above the clattering of the stove as it is cleaned of warm ashes. An ad for facial cleanser comes on. It cleans deep into your pores. A fine cloud of ash dust hangs around the hearth as the news headline is announced. War has broken out. All birdsong stops, scourging over snow. A hawk's shadow. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was really nice. I like the small pause. Really, it lets your mind work. Excellent work. Denise Umans.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
I'm just going to read one poem. Can I read this? I tried to read this at another session, but my audio wasn't doing too well then. Today, my video is not doing too well, so I'm reading it again. It's called The Final Lament. And I just want to mention that I talk about a melody called Czardas, which is a Hungarian folk dance melody with Eastern European roots. So it's called the final lament. Strings of shardos weave into the shawl of silence that surrounds us. As my son's bow moves over violin strings, each chord unravels, shreds of Jewish thoughts, each note folded into the fabric of our past. All that matters this moment, intertwined in the tassels of history. As the andante ends, frail lament echoes, and the final note lingers, still for Papa. Thank you. Sorry, can't hear.
Did you have another one?
No, just the one.
Okay. Well, thank you, Denise. I appreciate you coming in today. When you do have audio problems, you can also call in on the phone. It's a little bit further down on the invite, if that
Okay.
helps at all. James Bethel. James, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just now found the button. Two poems. I think of my poetry under a kind of a shorthand to remind me that I refer to it as extraordinarily ordinary, which is the title of this poem. Extraordinarily ordinary. Seemingly adrift in the watercourse way, each and all of us, the ordinary and the extraordinary, infused with mysteries, we are ordinary mystics. What distinguishes us is awareness amid encounters with moments, epiphanies, sometimes in silence, maybe in a song, a line in a poem, even in conversation. Such moments are not confined by the dramas of relationship, rituals, nor the majesty of nature and its vistas. Although once experienced, we are changed, expanded, if you will. Recall the first moment you were actually riding that bike, when the kite actually flew, surviving that fall, waking after your tonsillectomy, the view of the world through the lenses of your first eyeglasses, the first time you thought, this must be love, the first time your heart was broken, and the second. Then there's witnessing the birth or the first step of a child, the rising of the harvest moon and its blood red eclipse, the first time you witnessed the aurora borealis, a caring, even an accidental touch. These differences collapse into singular, undifferentiated experiences, expanding us. There are no words here. The silent vista of the Grand Canyon can't be embraced by the words awe or even thankful, even while being filled with a gratitude the dimensions of which we were not previously aware we possessed. And this is my blue poem entitled 1,000 Songs. 30,000 isn't too many times to hear a favorite song that the charts can no longer chart. The list, anyone's list actually, of such faves would probably be so long as to not fit even on 30 blog pages, and accidentally still exclude Wedding Day at Trollhagen, Memory Motel, or Just Once in a Very Blue Moon. Each a personal invitation to openness and to the doneness of an ordinary day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Wow, we just always get a great group, and I'm so lucky. I am so personally thankful for all of you guys. I'm going to read a quick one. It's called Even Barns. The sickle moon hangs blue over frozen barns, dormant lofts, last season's weedy uprising, shallowly contained below floorboards, suspended inches above the ground. There just isn't any good way to say goodbye. Nothing can soften the inevitable. No monument has the power to replace the summer, stop the fall. Winter snows and snows. The forecast? Snow. Piles of it. It'll never stop snowing. It'll never stop pressing down, slowly splintering our beams. A generation of sagging barns will hurl down or slowly kneel overnight. The morning surprises every powerless onlooker, arms aching to bear them up. What remains will furrow into rows, wintry white flags jutting quietly from fields adjacent to churches. What will they say about my father, his eyes the color of glaciers? Okay, Marjorie Greenberg.
This poem does not include the word blue, but by the end of it, I'm afraid that's how you might feel. The title is Speaking of Death. In our interminably smiley, wrinkle-free culture, who listens to seniors talk about death? That subject some people swallow with the ease of eating raw cactus. The aged listen at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. in a closet or on the moon, in the rain or sunshine, when deepest feelings insist on being revealed. That's the right time to talk about death. Intimate conversations about the fear of forgetfulness, pain, wet pants, tubes tethering us to breath, the black raven beckoning from the dark door, are the anvil on which friendships are securely strengthened as we balance together on the merciless side of time.
Very nice. Did you have another today?
I didn't have one picked out, but I happen to have this is my, chapbook I just published, self-published. Here's one. Okay, wrestling match. This will cheer you up. You deserve it after that first one. In the wash, fitted bed sheets, corner pockets are magnets for odd bits of laundry. Once captured by the sheet, socks, underwear, and face cloths become congested wads of wetness, preventing the dryer from fulfilling its purpose. The solution is another run through the dryer, hang clothes over chairs or lamps, like grapes dangling from an arbor, or get a gale going by turning an industrial strength hairdryer on the wet mess. Dry sheet in hand, fold it, or attempt making the bed. Accomplishing the task of folding it presents a mystery, demanding Miss Marple's sleuthing skills. The corner pockets must stack into each other like a catcher's fist going into his mitt. Fold from north to south or from east to west. Having extra hands and dexterity of an octopus is helpful. Finding this task cannot be accomplished, roll it into a ball, stash it in a closet shelf, or smash it into a drawer where the eyesore will be hidden. Making the bed presents other challenges. Struggling a football field size fitted sheet onto a sumo wrestler size mattress takes the magic of Houdini slipping out of handcuffs underwater, the holiness of Mother Teresa fasting and praying, and the strength of the Hulk crushing evil. The exhausting task completed, the bed fit to pass marine inspection. Lie down, you earned a nap.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we are going to go with Mary Gunn, all the way from Ireland, and then Patrice Wilson from Hawaii. So we're really jumping around now. Mary.
Hi, Glenn. Are you on loudspeaker or something? You're very loud. Oh, no, sorry. It's me. Is that better? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I've got two poems today. One is a haiku and one is a tanka. Do you want me to read them twice?
Yes, please.
Okay. Before I start, could I just say hello to everybody else there that I can't actually see? Okay, for the haiku. Neglected aloe vera, one eye-catching bloom on midsummer's day. Neglected aloe vera, one eye-catching bloom on midsummer's day. And the tanka, forget-me-nots in a blue ceramic pot, pondering why I am attracted to colours that suit me. Forget-me-nots in a blue ceramic pot, pondering why I am attracted to colours that suit me. Both of those have been published. The first one was published in Presence and the second one was first published in Moonbathing.
Oh, that's great.
My reading.
Thank you, Mary, and thanks for coming back again. I always appreciate your
Okay.
work. Okay, Patrice.
Okay, hi everybody. I wanted to read a recent poem. It just happens to have the word blue in it, and I think it's appropriate for this weekend in some ways. Declaration: life, self-evident truths. Clear blue sky at noon, black night with stars, good earth to walk upon. Liberty, music to my ears. Beethoven, Coltrane, Diamond, Jamal, Peter, Paul, and Mary, Montellani, Belafonte, Davis, Bernstein, cloistered nuns, native flutes, Wurlitzers, Mancini. Happiness, a self to breathe with, eat with, be with, love doing whatever I do. No need to pursue.
Love the power of those individual words. They're so that when you have icons that you just hit like that, like in a row, it just creates this whole energy. That's just great. Really, really well done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And then this one is called Twilight. And this is from this is like almost 10 years old, this book. But it looks backward here to me. Hues of darkness, hues of light. But I am working on some other work, books and things. So, Twilight, no eye, no flower, no water contains the blue of it, fading in just after sun dips behind mountains, and the last hue of light hovers above the city. This blue oasis of day's last moments awake, tinted on the great upside-down jar of sky, just enough to see a first star, faintly, as if beckoning a ghost ship carrying two new lovers to an undiscovered shore.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Leonard Lund.
I recognize that name. Ran through my files of poems last night, and the hard part wasn't finding poems with the word blue. The hard part was deciding which ones to give to you today. So, legends passed down for hundreds of generations speak of the water here, how it ran red as battles flowed upstream, marking it almost from the source. Elders talk of late spring floods before the dam was placed, the rich brownness of fertile silt carried down and across the fields before spring planting and the promise of an early fall harvest. And I marvel how, in the here and now of early winter, the last of the river's journey from mountain to delta is peaceful, clear, a lovely reflection in this time of peace and plenty, of a laughing blue sky, the color, oh, indeed, the color of your bright eyes as I remember them and pray to see soon again. Depending on the light, her eyes were blue. Blue as uncut sapphire, virgin from the earth. Unpolished shine so subtle, holding mysterious futures, unpredictable possibilities. Depending on the hour, her eyes were blue as gentle morning glories, never to be known. Birthstones and birth signs, flowers of the month, entangled with a plea to be remembered. And briefly, a passing nod to E. Cummings.
Yeah.
Your blue-eyed boy. It's not the midnight pains that make me stare into the dark. It's the ones I've loved, even those who never knew, shuffling off their paths. And the ones I've learned from, even those who never knew me, laying down their pens and pencils. And it's not my fault for growing older every day, but death, death, death. You're really beginning to piss me off. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Debbie Walker Lass.
Hey everyone.
Hi, Debbie.
There's a little touch of blue in here. This is my second attempt at the Blitz poem, so it's a little long. It's called Summer Crushed. Build a memory, build upon wanton summer. Summer light sprayed in hair, summer rolling fast downhill. Downhill tumble into soft grass, downhill slide into sunny past. Past shrinks through the years, past hard-packed ground, ground into fertile wishes, ground we stood on invincible, invincible to omniscient wise words, invincible to winter, blue-lipped, coatless, coatless and away from home, coatless we kept each other warm, warm spilled from bodies freely, warm words tight as familial allies. Allies lifting latches, stumbling into night. Allies in revelation and revelry. Revelry slipped out as phantom poetry. Revelry writ large on rocky walls. Walls ensconced our teenage years. Walls of indifference melted on the first day of sunlight brought out wild. First to get there rolled up instant karma. Karma long-haired girl spins the bottle. Karma of destiny points unlikely. Unlikely most will make it out sane and alive. Wine unties small town inhibitions. Wine blows inhibitions into wall cracks. Cracks in age-old quarry holding secrets. Cracks on our faces, material evidence. Evidence of life lived for the sun. Evidence of bodies shaped by a good run. Run backwards now and seize the hands. Run towards them, reaching once again. Again, with voice cracking, he may choose you. Again, dance you across a craggy beach. Beach with a silver moon hung so close. Beach full of people we love the most. Most people unknowing about this place. Most fun ever escaping to this space. Place of abandon captured in black and white. Place mostly erased like words on ancient paper. Paper thin condos built upon the rocky sand. Paper lions that seem so very real crushed. Crushed beneath the weight of barefoot dancers. Crushed into a joint passed round a circle delicately. Delicately, we grew apart, apart delicately. And I have one haiku. Dance in the wild blue. Beauty thrives amid chaos. Don't chase it away. And again, dance in the wild blue. Beauty thrives amid chaos. Don't chase it away. Thanks, everyone.
I was asking about the Blitz poem. Did you go back and do much editing on that, or did you just sort of like hold on to it on the first stream of consciousness? And oh, you're muted.
I did do some editing in the center of it. And I changed indigo to blue at the beginning to fit the theme a little bit better, even though indigo does fit. I like the blue. But basically the center part, I played around with a little bit, but the beginning and the end, it's the type of poetry that if you start messing with it too much, then you have to go back and do, you have to do whole sections. You can't just edit a line because one line feeds into another.
Right.
So
yeah.
I had some fun in the middle there. Not really fun, but.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, Alexandra Coates, please. Alexandra, are you with us? Okay, we'll just put a pin in that, and we'll go to Emily.
All right. Hi, everybody. I have two poems. The first one is a new and just happens to have the word blue in it, but it wasn't part of the prompt. It just came out that way. Light and sea. Folded silver knives, sheer waters aloft, shiny like steel with sharpened feathers. Dangerous refractions of light points on metal, their edge cuts bloody lines. A palm folded below waits for the right time. Clock hands just so. Tea time, midnight watch, astrolabe noon. The sails folded in doldrums, soft and flabby now. Only the light sharp, a thin shadow. The sailor's face, cheeks rugged from the sea, turns gone, empty swells, salt crusts the ensheathed blade dull, soft feathers lying dead in someone's hand. Young man holds himself. The sun like a sharp point shining against the blue tropical current. And the second one is much different. Maybe you will laugh. Mother's beef stew. Mother, how did you know I would like your beef stew? Twice a day without fail, like the heater coming on, like you turn up the electric blanket. Mother, I breathe in your unwashed smells beneath the sheets.
I snuggle right up between your legs. I don't mind. And come morning, you let me snuggle in the blanket until I feel like I'm dog enough to eat your lovely beef stew again, flavored with peanut butter, parsley, and sea kelp for vitamins. You keep me healthy so I can sleep on the couch, growl at the mailman, chase the black cat away from my food dish and biscuit, even the one I don't like, bury it in the quilt by the door until it's stale and dusty, but damn if I'll let the cat get it. Mother, I'm smart, not even Dusty, who I will tolerate stepping over my covered body, can have the last piece of carrot. Thanks for keeping me strong. Your beef stew with sweet potatoes, lentils, gourmet rice. You're so good to me, Mother. Now I have to throw up under the bed. It's not the beef stew.
It's not the beef stew. Okay, thank you for that. I'm going to read my second piece, which is very different for me. It's a short chapter of prose from the second chapter of the new Kindle Bella project that I started. Mercy, a love story about a broken cowboy, killer aliens, and a questionable woman. In the scene, our protagonist, named Cole, is headed out into the desert. He's got a broken heart because he lost his wife, and he's hell bent on revenge. So he's after a man named Baron. And here's the paragraph. The sun began to set on the horizon, red and orange yellow, hanging like a ripe peach pit against a lilac sky. The purple hues of a desert sunset are the rarest and most fleeting. The way the purple light casts over the dry sages seems to adorn the whole world, even the long shadows, in the appearance of fine blue lace prettifying a thin and delicate dress. Those were the words Cole's wife used when she wrote her family back east about desert sunsets. When Cole read those words the first time, he knew he could only ever appreciate from afar the depth of a woman's soul. It was something he would never have, something beautiful and precious, something worth dying for. Lucy, why couldn't it have been me? He let slip under his breath. Okay. And now we will go to Elvin Johnson. Are you still here with me? Don't think so. We've kind of been losing people here. Nope, I lost that one. That's 2 for 2. Bob Moreland. Hi, Bob. Good to see you.
Hey, I am still here. And after reading the instructions, had to look for something blue besides my tie that wasn't political. This is called Leaving Milwaukee. It is that one moment of anticipation. Time is rent, that fear as engines start and whine like banshee demon sent. The brakes release. The man wonders, since the craft is new, ponders the odds of a fiery crash into the lake askew. Unnoticed silent prayer, eyes closed, brief, and with a whoosh amends. Her nose lifts, and like a homesick angel, hell released ascends, wonder of flight. Afternoon heated air, as it all depends. Over the Great Lake, and to the south, sunshine so bright he squints. Carroll Beach languishes in a sea of cerulean blue, and 20 miles away, his wife, knowing that he's safe, breathes again. Thank you.
Very nice.
And that comes from Flying Too Many Times for a Job.
Do you have a second piece?
I do. This is a nonette, and let's see, you can sort of see the little triangles, but it doesn't read that way. Summer cumulus. Winter chill gone, late June's kiss humid thunderheads building, cathedrals white, boiling alive, upward stream to highest heaven, anvil clouds flatten, storm suddenly overtakes, shadows fall, dirt smell of rain, huge drops plopping down, lazy midday heat forgotten, lightning, thunder roars, hailstones, polished ivory balls bounce on paved farm road, chilling the warm day, torrent flooding fields. Soon as the tempest begins, it ends, storm moving eastward, thunder growls. Pavement steaming, humid, cool, oil rainbows in puddles, mirror images, fine sky prism, cumulus contrast dark. Cool aura of a still afternoon, peace of the day now pastoral, wildflowers raise their wet heads, sun waning in the west, time stands still, sighing, twilight beckons, cicadas begin to sing. Thank you.
Thank you. It's really nice. Okay, James Nicola, please.
Hello, everybody. I do hope that my mic is working now. Yes. For
Yeah, I
some
hear you
reason,
just fine.
wonderful. I gotta exit full screen to get my poems. Okay, I got two blue poems, two short blue poems, and my latest that is seventh poetry collection is just out, and I put the link in the chat if you want care to look at it. This is from the Alabama Literary Review, which you might have heard about it, and it's entitled John Gould Fletcher. I knew nobody read him anymore, although he had won the Pulitzer Prize. So in the stacks this morning, drooly for some tome of guts and blood to taste, my eyes lit on his name. I took down his selected poems, where I suffered the surprise of the lost soul on being resurrected. Blue stamped in front by some librarian, news that he took his life. I reflected and realized, henceforth, I never can enjoy a verse of his not knowing this, limited as I am, still but a man. Plath, Sexton, Hart Crane, others were famous before those drastic days their lights went dim. But had their work remained anonymous, or had they worn at times a pseudonym, I could have read them from a place more pure, as yesterday, unstained, I'd have read him. And an even shorter poem on a lighter note was published years ago in a journal called Asinine, that I don't think is any longer with us, but it is to lighten things up. And it's called Color. Today, I'm switching to a purple pen so that you might imagine how I've been. I used red yesterday, but I don't think you read the thing, or else don't like red ink. Not that I need a written answer back, but if you do write, please do not use black. The purple pen enclosed is meant for you, so I won't have to buy another blue. Thanks so much for listening, all.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to have you today. Thank you so much for that. Penny Michalski, please.
Alrighty, I only have one today, one 3-line poem. Let's see. His lips tiptoed across her cheek, silent, deliberate, hypnotic, and settled like a lit match onto gasoline. That's it.
Thank you very much. And thank you. Is this your first time here?
No.
Okay. I apologize. I'm not
Oh, it's been
always
a
the
long
best.
time.
It's been a while. Well, thank you. I hope we see you every time.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anyone here, anyone present who has not read?
I haven't read.
Oh, okay. Please go ahead and introduce yourself and let's get on.
Okay. I'm Linda Embler from Wichita, Kansas. Thank you, everyone. Boy, I love Blue Tie, and I really enjoyed all the funny poems. There's some really good stuff. I'm in a good league. I have 2 blue poems. They've both been published. First one is called Fresh Blue. We may be perennial, but not undying. We're dead before conception, inanimate after living. Or perhaps we'll be sitting in a way station where all transitions of place and time happen, and we'll change into something fresh blue, wonderful and new, and more in line with our dreams as we travel to our new beginning with past memories erased. Yet why wait until after death to do better? Do we really need to wait to become what we want to be now? Thank you. The next one is it's a tribute to Edie Sedgwick. She was a muse for Andy Warhol. She had a very difficult life. It's called A Bluebird Sadly Flown, a tribute to a pop muse. Edie, born in a cage, a bird wearing a feathered veil, never pursuing tranquility. A rolling stone of a woman, sculptured in art and tailspins. Publicly, body untamed, a privately tortured mind, a break, a collapse at times, her cracks displayed to all. Coming unglued, all her bluebirds finally came to roost. Such a shame she never learned how to land. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think that concludes this event. If you guys want to stick around for just a couple of minutes for discussion, that'd be wonderful. I would urge any of the poets and people who participated today or might do it next month to let me know how you liked the idea of having a prompt for these types of events. Some people may or may not like that. Okay, and we'll see you next time, and this will be published on our Facebook page.